Welcome back everyone, I hope you all doing well. We're looking at anomalies I featured a while ago north of Douglas. This is at a site in a region of Mars called Aonia Planum. These new close-ups were done using Gigapixel AI. The ones I showed you previously were done in PhotoZoom Pro 7. So we're looking at a huge improvement in resolution. The high-rise photograph is called Aonia Terra Terrain. High-rise acquired this on the 27th of June 2011 at a resolution of 25 centimeters per pixel. The images I'll show you were cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file, just over 750 megabytes in size. There's a look at the low resolution black and white photograph of this site. The site we're looking at is located roughly at 48 degrees 29 minutes south, 68 degrees 39 minutes west. We have Douglas down here to the south and Frixie Rupes up here to the north. We'll have a look at some of the other anomalies at sites close by towards the end of the video as well. So to start off with, we're looking at the anomaly highlighted there, and for convenience I've included the scale indicator to the bottom of each image so you can determine the size of these anomalies. It's a rough estimate, but it's pretty accurate, guys. Let's zoom in on that item. Check this out. It's a funny shape to it. Long, narrow, raised area running through the center, slightly hollowed out at the rounded part of this object, the small protrusion in the center over there. Looks highly unusual. Let's zoom in on that item. That there's about 12 meters across, and it's got this nice shape to it, rounded corners, and the customary smaller protrusion or object in the center. There's also an odd item over here to the left. It's got a slightly rounded shape to it. It always fascinates me to see the smaller objects in the centers of the larger ones. So let's take a look at those two sticking out of that item. This is about 10 meters across. It's also quite unusual to see two of these protrusions like this in the center of a larger object. It looks like it's slightly rounded as well. Right, let's take a look at the anomaly over here to the right. Got an odd shape to it as well. Looks almost like a snail. Not that it is, folks. This is also rather odd. Is it part of the larger piece? Not sure what's going on here, but that there to me looks rather unusual as well. Right, down to the bottom of this image. This is very strange. Hollowed out here on the inside, with a small object over there inside this area. I don't know what that could be, guys. There's another one coming up that looks very similar, just doesn't have the smaller object inside. Let's have a look at that block and the usual suspect right there on the top. It also looks like might be a little hole to the top right with something inside it. Let's check out this weird part. It's about 8 meters across. It's got this lid-like part on the top. It looks like a partially opened lid or hatch. Right, let's have a look at this one. It's got a similar object on the top. I like the very well defined edges to this piece. slight curvature to it, nice right angles. Looks like there's a slight bevel on it as well. And then this unusual piece in the center. Alright, let's have a look at that block. And it's got another one of these depictions of it, looks like an eye on it. And we've seen that so often on Mars as well. Let's have a look at the anomalies in this crop. This item's about 14 meters across. It's got this symmetrical shape to it. And the part in the center, very strange as well. Let's zoom in on that item to the left of this image. And like I said, in the other one, it's slightly hollowed out of the small part. This one looks very similar. Let's have a look at the sort of disc shape over there to the right. It looks almost like a depiction of a fish head, mouth and the eye. Not that that is folks, but that too looks highly artificial with the disc-like item there in the center. Right, let's have a look at that one to the right. Looks almost like a weight with a handle. Very strange. That there's about 5 meters across. New crop of that photograph, we're looking at the item to the bottom left. And this to me looks rather strange. Two really reflective rectangular surfaces on this object. It's also got this strange part at the bottom, and it's slightly elevated off the surface. It looks almost like a hatch or a lid, a roof, who knows. Right, then we're looking at the strange item there. All these items are strange, but this one is rather weird. It's got these two rounded parts to it. Hollowed out or carved out area there, and a small part in that darker spot. The heck could this be? Right, let's zoom in on that item right there in the center. This is about 8 meters across. A nice spherical object there in its center. And we'll see more of those. Rectangular part over here with a small rectangular object on the top. Slightly elevated as well over here to the right. Is that possibly an opening? Right, moving on. Let's check out the item highlighted there to the left. About 6 meters across. Strange shape to it. It looks almost metallic, slightly bent over here on the right. And then this area here on the top. Looks like there's smaller parts on the inside. It's like a recessed area. And then a curvature on the right hand side. Right, let's zoom in on the item highlighted there. Another block-like item with a small protrusion on the top. This is like a little conical feature. And there's another one of these strange items with a spherical object in its center. So it looks like this is slightly recessed over here on the top. Cool, let's have a look at that item, or the two items over here. These two blocks or parts still next to one another. Slot over there, or gap, and the two smaller protrusions on the center of each of those, and another one over here to the left. Look at the way this looks as if it's been bent over, attached over there and then bent over. Rather odd as well. Parallel with this, could that be significant? Right, let's have a look at the object to the top right. This is odd. This opening, with this part sticking out of the opening. Looks almost like an open mouth with a tongue sticking out. Right, let's have a look at the object over there. This looks like a total wreck. Multiple folded parts. That's what it looks like to me on this object. The right angles here, parallel edges here as well. As I say, this looks like crumbled up metal to me, folks. I wonder if it's wreckage. Check out this piece. It's about 6 meters long. I've got like this strange disc-shaped small spherical object on the top, lying across this dune, slightly elevated here on the right. And then the block to the left, it's about 8 meters long. Nice rounded feature with a small protrusion in its center. And I thought I'd include these. They're sort of the similar size to this. This one's got a long, narrow, raised area on the top. And then it looks almost like a chocolate block. It's rather weird. Let's zoom in on that item. This is about 10 meters long. Two similar parts parallel with each other. I'm sure you could walk through there. This is a large item, folks. Nice straight edges and right angles to it. Very reflective as well. Another one of these strange lot of disc shapes on top of this item. Very symmetrical as well. Beautiful. It's almost like that they could be open. Right. Two similar items with small parts or protrusions in their centers. Another oddball, check this out. It's like a hole over here. Very weird rectangular raised part on the top. Looks odd. Let's have a look at this object. It's about 6 meters across. It's got a strange design to it. Looks like two eyes and a nose, like a head. That to me just looked rather interesting as well. And then the object to the bottom, also a rather odd recessed area on the one side. It looks almost like a fossilized shell. The item over there bottom center. Also looks rather odd as well. Take a closer look at that site. Southern mid-latitudes of Mars. Zoom out a bit. We have Phrixie Rupes to the north, Douglas over here to the south. Let's have a look at the anomalies that are featured. I think this was in 2020. These close-ups were done using PhotoZoom Pro 7. Very low res, very fuzzy, looks out of focus. It's also this strange square surface feature. I think each side is about 60 meters in length, totally cleared away any boulders. We've seen a couple of those here and there on Mars as well. Not your typical impact crater, which is more round. I don't know what those are. It's interesting though to see square cleared away areas on the surface. Right, let's have a look at the reduxed new close-ups. There's some new anomalies that are spotted while I was upscaling the images. So these didn't appear in the original feature. All new ones included here were the older ones. I'm sure you'll agree with me, folks. These anomalies and all the others I've shown on my channel really warrant a closer look, in my opinion. Let's have a look at the items over here, close by. We're saying Douglas. And in the near future, I'll be doing new upscaled versions of these objects using Gigapixel AI. Looks like a wall over here, part of a toppled structure. Everything on Mars looks totally devastated. Look at the opening on this object as well. Nice right angles over here to this piece. Protrusion. Looks like those blocks with protrusions on them that we find at ancient sites and ruins in South America. Another one of those weird blocks with a small part in its center. Let's have a look at one more site. Western edge of Aonia Planum. Strange part of here also. Rectangular recessed area on the top. Looks rather odd. Lots of these potential megalithic blocks with holes or smaller parts in their centers on Mars. Looks like an opening. When I do a redux of these, it will become a little clearer. And with that said, we've reached the end of this feature. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next one very soon. Cheers for now.